Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
Alright, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the captain speaking, as if you couldn't tell, and we are playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I saw this game, and it is one of those that you just have to get when it speaks to you. It's, I like playing FPSs, I like playing RTSs on occasion, but this one is something special. It is something different. It is a storytelling game across the Great Depression era, United States of America. It just hits so many different areas than your normal games. So I just had to get it, and I had to play it. Now the sound's a little loud. I haven't had the opportunity to change that at all yet, so just bear with me. Lower the sound a little bit, and we'll get through this together. All right, let's go to the house.
You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open.
Enter.
You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good.
Let's look around.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
Who else is here?
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him.
All right, let's keep playing.
One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
Okay, let's keep playing. Acorns? Is this a squirrel? Or a chipmunk?
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand?
I'm in.
He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high.
Nothing can beat me.
But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
All right, I guess we'll fold.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
Well, that seems sketchy. Let's check our cards.
Yep. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. All spades.
All right, you have my word, Mr. Crazy Wolf Man.
The man in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
Show him. What the? What? Peter.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that. Your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know.
Okay, hold on. I can't take this anymore. There we go. Crank that bad boy down a bunch. That'll probably be better on my ears. A little bit. Needs to go down more. I don't know why these things are so loud. I don't even have my volume up that high. Okay. Much better.
To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy.
Okay, Mr. Wolf.
Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you.
Oop. Dang it.
About their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story.
Most important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Okay.
The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
What? So we have a bunch of options here on the right hand side. We have the Three of Staves, Justice, the World, Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. Obviously, I think the Tower is appropriate. Tell the story of a black and gray city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. Ugh. Tell the story of tossing a pair of bone dice on a blood red velvet table. They come up with snake eyes and wink at you. Tell the story of the parting of a cloud of fog to reveal a brief glimpse of a land of promise and plenty. Tell the story of the endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading only to more doors. Tell the story of the northbound train blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night. We're gonna do this one. I think that's why we're wandering. Tell the story of the parting of a cloud of fog to
Your
reveal
deepest
brief glimpse.
desires, your greatest wish, heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? El Dorado, the promised land,
Big Rock Candy
that
Mountain,
place
Charlie.
just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing.
Okay. Northbound train blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliche in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
I guess we have to go through all these. Tell the story of the endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading only to more doors.
You'll sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
Story of tossing a pair of dice. Come on, Snake Eyes and wink.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well,
Ain't that the truth?
try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that.
Story of a black and gray city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. Oy.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain, hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
I'm digging the music. Options? Hey, look at that. Let's crank that volume down. Alright. Currently, I'm a Skeletor. Alright. What's this? Search. Please.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway.
That's strange.
The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
Sure, pal.
You are about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. You know these girls? They demand.
No.
Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash, sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
The woman arrested for bootlegging, huh? Alright, let's work on the sound issue here. Turn the music down a little bit so you can hear the voices better. Alright. Canada. So we are up at the where are we, northeast side of the United States, maybe? I don't know what's going on there. Oh, okay. You walk faster.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you from inside the bundle.
I suppose we should say hello. We need stories, right?
The shape gives a start. Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here, it says in a small voice.
Okay.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
Okay, I won't tell.
You tell the boy you'll keep his secret. You don't see his father anywhere. You don't see another soul for miles.
Take a look. Key bindings, can we? Alright. Hitchhike is Q. Movement. Control is whistle. Interact is space. M is map. I is inventory. Pretty easy. Hey, we're up in Maine. Cool. We have was this a story up to our north? Am I mistaken? Oh, those are the stories I've already collected. Okay. Move down from Maine, huh? The camera shake going on here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that'll help? No. Resolution is correct. Anti-aliasing. I don't know if that'll fix it. Maybe. No. Not sure what that is. Let's see. No. Seems to be. I mean, I'm getting over 200 FPS in this game. Hey, Portland, Maine. Keep going, skeleton guy.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
Let's watch the seagulls. No, we need another tail. We already got one of those. So ask why.
Just when the fishing is gonna be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess.
A year for what?
Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place. The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise. You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion.
Yeah, no shit.
You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Let's approach the woman.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench.
You may. Lovely outside, isn't it?
Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat.
Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
So it's the woman whose head is held on by the scarf. Heard that story before. Alright. Make the music a little bit quieter. Crank up the volume. There we go. Now the voice should be nice and loud, without the music being overpowering.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you.
Alright, let's climb up.
At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door.
Put your ear to the door.
Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door.
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead.
Let's wait.
After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in.
Yeah, no problem. Step inside.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. Tea? He offers, hoisting a teapot.
Been here long?
A few years.
The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. 5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?
Yeah, well, I have some.
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
Oh yeah. Cool. 2 lighthouse keepers. Alright. I don't want to hitchhike yet. Go to Boston, Massachusetts. Oh yeah. Weird.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, 2 wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another.
What's going on?
The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams. They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No! 32!
Wow.
Everyone here is watching these 2 older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
Take a photo of us!
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Hey, let's get out of the road first, eh?
As you usher them onto the sidewalk, the driver says,
Joe, I thought you were dead.
The rider freezes.
Joe?
He blurts.
I'm not Joe.
The two men stare at one another, each slowly recognizing something alien in their mistaken brother's face.
Uh-oh. Go to Boston. Red brick and green trees, blue sky. In this weather, Boston is beautiful. That is, until you make your way deeper into the city. You get lost among the cramped, winding, shadow-haunted old streets. Let's explore.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost.
Wait,
Bright light crests around one corner. A car approaching.
let's hail the taxi cab. We don't need another sun one, so.
Compelled by the cold and foreboding night, you don't question it as you drag your bones into the cab.
Literal bones.
But you realize immediately how strange the vehicle is. It's a sleek thing, like a shallow parabola gliding over the street.
Okay, let's have a look at the driver.
Where to? He asks. You have to stop and think. Eventually, you name Boston Common, the only landmark you know in this town. He peels off silently. You feel the car move before you hear the engine.
You look out the window.
He takes you through ever odder streets, flanked by painfully clean, gleaming buildings and signage for businesses you don't recognize.
Ooh.
Even the air seems different. It doesn't smell so sharply of gasoline and coal. Eventually, you come to a stop.
Pay the driver.
The fare's in glowing numbers above his dashboard. It's much too high. Surely a mistake. No charge, he insists. You look like you need a break. And then you find yourself on the curb at Boston Common, under thick moonlight, in a city much as you'd left it before.
Move on. Got a new story. Oh, an odd silent taxi cab. Okay. Earn some money. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Look for work. We're honest. We're an honest skeleton. A tiny woman in a lush fur coat is standing outside a boutique's lamp store with packaged nearly as tall as she is. You there, she calls. Can you lift this? Give it a try. It's huge and unwieldy, but light as anything. Carry it down to my house and we'll work something out, the woman declares. You heft the package and follow her. She begins a rambling story about her living room, her interior decorator, her husband's taste in rugs. Fascinating, ma'am. You follow by the sound of her voice. The lamp box is so large you can't see a thing. Eventually she exclaims, "Here we are!" Oh, thank God. You lay the box down in your living room. It's nowhere near as luxurious as she made it sound. A card table, a ratty couch, and a wall tapestry done in a grotesque imitation medieval style. This will surely tie the room together, she exclaims. At least she tips you. Woo! What do we get at the store? We can get apple cider, clam chowder. Ooh. I think I'm okay. I want to save my money. What does the train station do? Oh, you can just go to cities. Okay, let's leave. Alright, we left Boston. There's a house out here on the border of Rhode Island.
The women are oblivious to your approach. Their eyes are shut. Their touch, where they hold hands, is gentle. They speak in low tones. One stifles a burst of laughter, but it brings a smile to their faces. Sorry, says the one who laughed. Don't be, another assures her. They don't look up.
Pass by quietly. We need that, whatever that is.
And we give thanks for those who have left us, who we wanted gone, for the skills to thrive without them, and for the companions who make the effort joyful. The voice of the youngest wavers. The woman to her left squeezes her hand. This is not a scene to intrude upon.
No, it's not. Thankfully, I have common sense. Alright, what do we got here? A camp. A hobo camp. Quinn. Nothing shaken.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me. If you're respectful, that is.
Alright, I can be respectful.
This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn.
Well, hello there, Quinn.
These here are my venturing companions. Kaz is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip.
Cass and Flip.
I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up. You got any happy stories?
You do, Pally. Here are all the stories you've collected so far. They're organized by subject because the boss likes the tarot cards. This is the subject of each story here. If you tell this person a story about love, for example, they will tell you something from their own life relating to the subjects of love. Poor things. As the night goes on, this icon will move left to right. When it reaches the right side, the night is over, and so is your storytelling. The person you're talking to will usually tell you where they'll be next so you can find them again. If you tell the types of stories they request, you'll gain their trust and the eye will open. When it opens fully, the next time you meet them, they'll open up with more about their life. They'll remember this from conversation to conversation, so don't feel you need to open the eye all the way the first time you meet someone. Dance around, get to know them. So that's how you get the stories you need to tell the wolf guy. Alright, so happy stories, huh? Son! Oh, that's past memories. Uh-oh. Emily? I don't think I have any happy stories. Authority. Nope. Really. Let's see. 2 lighthouse keepers near Portland, Maine. That's kind of happy. Let's try it.
Now that's a happy story.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up with angry spirits. I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. Would swap tales with the youngins. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'd be pretty vengeful too.
I can get behind that, little Quinn.
I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
Adventuring tales. What's this? Woman arrested for bootlegging? Kinda? Seagulls, fishermen. Story of the odd silent taxi cab. Maybe. Adventuring tales. I guess the taxi cab would be the boy who ran away with his father. Okay, we'll try that one. Kind of adventuring.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good venture tale instead any day.
I didn't have any. I'm sorry.
My family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw flapping about those bastards. Judases, the lot of them. Enough said.
That's jaw flapping.
Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Thrilling story. This one maybe? Woman arrested for bootlegging? Yeah, I guess. Try. You almost got shot.
Well, that was a lively tale. Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful.
Hey.
You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
An exciting story, huh? Nope. Taxi cab, I guess, would be the most exciting one we got. Give it a shot. Sorry, Quinn, I don't have a lot of stories to tell you
Whoa,
right now.
Quite a story, stranger.
There we go, cool.
What's my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion, if that's what you mean. I do fine by myself, so just stick to minding your own.
Alright, Quinn, jeez.
I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
I don't have a funny story. I guess we'll just, I don't know, select one.
What's the use in telling sweet happy tales if in the make you snooze?
Oh, so that one's a happy tale? Okay.
Trust. Well, I figure tramps are apt to trust each other, to a point. Sure, there are backbiters out there, but it's the folks who act respectable, the so-called upstanding ones that I keep an eye on. Oh, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way. The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day is a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't. Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
Damn straight, kid. Alright, Quinn, we're gonna have to see him again up the road. What do we got here? As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to land in your path. It looks at you, cocks its head, and speaks. Well, we've got a long, long road ahead, don't you? All these people to chase down, or so I hear, it laughs. I got some experience when it comes to chasing folks. Alright, tell me about it. Well, if you want, you go find your friend again. Ask them more about their life. They might want better stories this time, though, it peers up at you. Didn't they tell you where they're heading to next? Yeah, they did. But hey, the world is full of people. I bet you could find another friend like that if you went looking around. There's more than one interesting person in this land for sure. Gives a gravelly laugh. That's what humans say anyways, and with that, it launches into the air and disappears. Mysterious. Okay. Hold left control to whistle. You'll walk faster if you do. Oh, damn. Fucked it up. Hello.
You come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you.
Anin.
She offers you some from her birch bark basket.
Thanks.
You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit.
Okay, let's throw them.
When the stones reach the top of their arc above your head, they turn into butterflies, all the colors of the rainbow. Your heart leaps in surprise. Incredible.
Pretty sure I'm on drugs. Look. This. These men lean against the wall of this hardware store, smoking and chatting. They wave you over. You heard this one before? They launch into a group recitation of the shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops, interrupting one another in their excitement to tell it. Wait a second. You recognize the story. It's the story about the woman arrested for bootlegging. Someone's added to it in the meantime, though. What do you think? Asks one of the men, eyes bright. You think it really happened? Of course it happened. Well, I'm not sure myself, he replies, but damn, it sounds wild. Story grew in the telling. Interesting. Alright, let's go to New York. New York. The air stinks of gasoline and trash, and you're boxed in by brick, but damn, there's something invigorating about that stink. Yeah, do you feel like there's an engine in your chest? Explore.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
We need either of these, so let's talk to the man.
The man gives you a once-over as you approach. His newsboy cap is ragged with age.
You look familiar. Did I meet you at Union Square?
I don't think so.
The man shrugs.
Maybe somewhere else. You look like you get around. Me too. When Gramsci was arrested, we all had to flee. The futurists and the syndicalists and all the rest scattered across Europe. The luckiest ended up here.
He nods decisively, proudly.
We continued the work.
Okay, move on. Determined socialist in New York. Earn some money. You wandered the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Let's look for work. You're standing outside a department store that emphatically had no day work available when an exasperated woman carrying a small terrier rushes out onto the sidewalk. Here, you, she says. Will you watch him for me? He keeps chewing the shoes, and I'll only be a minute. All right, let's watch the dog. Thank you, she cries and heads inside again. The terrier seems perfectly content in your arms until she returns him up, leaving you with a very generous tip. Move on. I don't know what this stuff does. Gives me my health back if I need it, maybe? Okay, I guess we'll leave New York. New Jersey.
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow.
Make our way inside.
The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins, staring at you from the corridor.
Ah, it's the shitting.
In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?"
Hey, let's tell the truth.
Too tired to lie, you tell him about the noise outside your door, the trampling of small feet on the corridor outside, the dreams disturbed with violent and hideous images. "That's odd," he says, weak-eyed. "There are no children staying with us."
I think these are all folk tales, like, they're all actually stories. I mean, that one obviously we've seen in The Shining, if you watched that movie. But I think it came from a folk tale before then. A jet black crow lights on a low branch of a twisted tree. Look at you, it caws. Think you got some good stories already? Well, I heard better. Much better. It seems to wink at you. Want to hear my tricks? Alright, let's ask. The ones you got now. Pathetic stuff. You tell those stories around and they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. So always listen to the stories other folks tell. Their tales are less true, sure, but more useful around the campfire. Okay, makes sense. The boss has a point about the true ones though, the crow admits. They're extra interesting. You learn a couple folks' true life stories and everyone will like them, no matter what kind of story they think they want to hear. Any other tips? Well, everyone's the captain of their destiny. It gives a burst of laughter. Ain't no bootstraps in the world that can save you now, but the choices you make, they change the kind of story you can tell. It ruffles its feathers, a sort of shrug. Choose wisely or don't. Let's take a look at the controls again. Whistle, inventory, that's what I was looking for. we have a pair of dice. That's it. Stories. What do we got? None. Oh, we do have Quinn's Adventures. We have 3 of Staves. Cool. Sun. Queen of Cups. Justice. We need one for justice. We need one for the world. Need one for the tower and the wheel and the lovers. Okay. Where the heck am I going? Guess we'll just keep on going down 95 into Wind is down that way. Let's keep going that way. I'm really tempted to go across the United States to Oregon though. Because of course, that's my own great state. Be pretty fun. Alright, let's go on the Oregon Trail. Follow this through Pennsylvania. West. Alright, here we go. Go to the Oregon Trail. All right.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby,
Johnny
a
Appleseed.
hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
Let's help Mr. Johnny Appleseed dig.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft, he tells you. Hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough.
Let's bear witness.
He stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. I'll see him again in heaven, he tells you. Our souls are bound by love. He wipes his eyes. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll set out again.
Good idea, brother. Also, that is interesting, because in the Bible, which, you know, in olden times America was a huge thing, it says animals don't go to heaven. Or at least that was the belief at the time. So, Johnny Appleseed saying that he thinks he'll see the dog in heaven, that's pretty profound. This. What's that? Need some cash? A man asks. He just moved in down the street and needs help carrying boxes from the curb into the house. Threw my back out this morning, he says. Lift with your legs, that's my tip. You take his advice, and he pays you well. Thanks, buddy. Ohio River. I like that. That's a nice touch. Your story. This farmer is loitering beside a couple crates of berries, idly watching the clouds go by. Waiting for a pickup, he says. Trying to make small talk. Hey, you want to hear a story? Absolutely, buddy. He starts telling you about the taxi, which shows its right as the future. It takes a couple minutes, but suddenly you recognize it as a story about the odd silent taxi cab in Boston. Whoever told it to the farmer changed, well, a lot, but it's still pretty good. Where'd you hear that story? Oh, I can't remember, he says. I think I've known it for years, since I was a boy, for sure. That can't be right. That story happened to me. Bullshit. His laughter rings down the dusty road. You're a good joker, I'll give you that. Cool.
As you walk along the river near an unfinished bridge, a man with a tool belt catches sight of you. Hey, over there, he calls out. You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money. Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop.
Do it. We're the adventurous type.
Great, he exclaims. Suppose you'll want a safety belt. We Thunderbird people don't need them. We fly when we fall. He chuckles.
Alright, belt up.
You find yourself up high, looking over the rushing river that crashes around the foundation of the bridge. As you work side by side, the man mentions, "You can see Thunderbirds up here if you know how to look."
Oh?
You ask him to explain. Practice your peripheral vision, if you dare. Last thing you need up here is for them to see you seeing them and come swooping at you, he says laughingly.
Alright, let's give it a shot.
You only see the clouds thicken. It sure does pass the time working. The man pays you well when you're done with the job.
I should hope so. Bridge builders. Cool.
Clouds roll together to fill the sky.
Let's watch the sky churn.
The lightning is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze above you. You are sure you see massive talons curved around the clouds.
Keep watching.
The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles. Your lips and hands tingle from the electric charge that fills the air until the dancing lightning passes on over the hills.
Alright. Heading to Ohio. I wonder if we can hitchhike to someplace specifically. We'll give it a shot. So we're in the northeast right now, and we are heading into the Midwest. Interesting. Alright.
Deep in the fields, you come across a group of young men clearing weeds and sod from a roadside plot. Pitchforks flying, weeds dying. You almost don't notice that the dark lump beside them is a dozing boy, lying smack dab in the middle of their work.
Take a closer look.
There's an odd frenzy to the way these boys are ripping the sod apart. When they notice you approaching, they jog over and stand silently between you and their sleeping comrade.
What's going
The
on?
youths share nervous looks. The oldest steps forward. Get going, he blurts, leveling a pitchfork at your gut. His hands are shaking. He seems serious.
Well, we need one for the tower. Is your friend alright?
You step closer, and the ringleader loses his nerve. He died, he blurts. He was sweating and crying, and he just fell over. They won't come get us with the truck till sundown. You realize now that the sleeper's been posed. The ashy shadow on his face wasn't cast by a tree.
the boy who died in the fields. I'm gonna collect these stories real quick and then go to the camp.
Here. Can you find her? His voice is soft, cooing. He's lowered himself down so that his head is level with the two blonde-topped boys next to him. Can you find Grandma? They're pulling ears of corn off stalks with uncommon gentleness.
Okay, let's just watch, I guess.
There she is. He points to a specific cob. It's enormous, but otherwise unexceptional. We gave her back to the corn, and now the corn has given her back to us. One of the boys, awed, reaches out with a reverent hand to touch the cob.
Okay, let's keep listening, I suppose.
This one's not for eating, the man continues. No, this one we keep. Come on, boys. We better get home before dinner time. Harvest starts tomorrow. He turns to lead his children back towards where you're standing.
Let's hide.
He seems beatifically distracted as he gingerly carries the pristine ear of corn in one hand, never noticing you. His children tail after him. One of them, his blonde mop of hair mirroring the bright yellow maize, seems to glance at you, but not really understand what he sees.
Let's take a look.
And there it is, subtle but perceptible. A patch of red spots on his face, fuzzy and fungal, like the omnipresent rust that you've seen on leaves here and there in every cornfield. Except this one, of course.
What? I don't get that. Does he have chicken pox? Yeah. Children of the corn? Alright, yeah. Franklin. Nothing left to...
Why, hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist.
Alright, thank you, fella.
You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life.
That's weird.
Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Okay. Optimistic, huh? Let's see, optimistic. Kind of just a happy one. Optimistic. That one maybe it's optimistic. This one maybe. Yeah, it's hard to know. This one. Let's try determined socialist. He was optimistic.
A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for freedom, just think about how magnificent a train is. How the railroad binds this country together. Hop on and go anywhere. That's freedom. And that's my life. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement, huh? I think I probably have one or two of those. Shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops. Seems exciting.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though.
Yeah.
Authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that. It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss, to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman Porters give you a taste, so Boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
Yeah. Play housekeepers.
Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. The past, that's a tricky thing. Yes, porters may remind you of a certain type of way folks of our type used to be. There's no fighting that, just happily working past it. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
Another happy story? Oh boy. One. Girl with the rainbow stones turned into butterflies.
That's a tall one.
Hey,
Don't pull my leg, okay?
that's a happy story.
Home is where we go back to. It's where we belong. But there's nothing wrong with spending a little time in the rest of the world every now and again. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
I don't think I do have any more optimistic tales. Sorry, buddy. Quinn's tale, maybe? I don't know. Taxi, which shows the stars the future. Let's try that. Everything was better in the future.
That's a tall one. Don't pull my leg, okay?
Hey, I'm not pulling your leg.
The future? We're making it. There's never been anyone like us Pullman Porters. It's why we have so much pride. We're setting standards for future folks, and we know just how damn high those standards are. Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
You're heading east? Man, that's not the way we're going, buddy. We're heading west. We go to the great state of Oregon. What's out there, though? Maybe we should head back east. Like a lot of this. Well, actually. Gonna zoom out anymore? Washington, look at that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there. Seems like most of it is over here on the East Coast. Maybe we'll head back. Yeah, we'll try doing that. See if you can hitchhike. Hitchhike. You're going the wrong way. Any car coming the other way. Guess not. Camp. Alright, this is where our buddy just went. Chapter 2 for Frank. Hey, buddy.
It's a funny thing. Someone looking right through you. But don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter.
Sure.
Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. Know any good tragic tales? I feel in the mood for one of those right now.
Yeah, I do actually. Dead Kid.
Damn, friend. That one hit me hard. Change? I've changed with the job, for sure. You spend so much time on a train, you start to take after it a little bit. Nobody can maneuver, get over, and move forward like a porter. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Okay. I can't reuse some of the other ones. Interesting. Quinn, maybe?
A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. Travel? It's not just people riding on these railroads. See, most days I'll pick up a newspaper or a magazine or an album somebody left behind. Then I'll give it a read or a listen and maybe even sell it someplace where they don't know Bessie Smith yet. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
Funny story, huh? Not really. I guess the funniest one I would have is the two men who mistook each other. Not really funny, but best I got. Oh, it is.
I'll keep this story in my pocket for sure. It'll make some passenger laugh. The past. We porters have to leave the way we used to think behind. Before, we were all just worrying about how to make it through the next day, the next 10,000 miles. But together, we gotta put what's behind us, and keep it there. Now that we've got the brotherhood, we porters have a bigger future to think about. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Definitely don't have any more of those. I don't know. This one maybe? Bridge builders?
That's
Nah.
a tall one. Freedom. That's what the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters is about. Getting our freedom. Some folks in this country ain't too fond of unions, socialism, or anything that's got them scared somebody's gonna grab what's theirs. And they're especially ornery when it's black folks organizing their labor. They think there's not enough freedom to go around. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
That one maybe? Oy. I don't freaking know, guy. You're asking for a lot. I guess this one? Woman praying in the woods?
Just
It
like I
is.
told you,
Okay,
friend.
great.
Miles of smiles. It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know them. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a porter. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Don't want to hold you here if you need to be going. I've got to be going in the morning too. The next leg of my trip takes me along the rails this way. Where are you headed?
Oy, not that way.
If we cross paths again, I'd like to tell you more of the truth about what it's like to be a porter and what it's like to be in the Brotherhood. Keep an eye out for me, all right?
I will, man. I will. But we came this way for you. I think it was maybe a mistake. We need to head, like, east-ish. But I see something over here. You share this bus stop with an old man who shifts from foot to foot, thumbing his suspenders and watching the passing traffic with anxious focus. Hey, he blurts suddenly, turning towards you. You want to hear a good story? Where? With the air of a man who's distracting himself from something, he stumbles quickly through a tale about future Boston, where taxi rides cost $20, confusing himself now and again, backtracking, adding new details out of order. You barely piece the story together. Wait a second. You suddenly realize that he's told you a twisted version of the story about the taxi, which shows its riders the future, but massively changed, with whole new chunks you don't remember. It's true, the old man insists, turning his wincing eyes back toward the road, and with that, the conversation seems to be over. Oh, man. I do want to go west, though, honestly. There's so much over here. A lot down in Florida, Tennessee. We can go south and then west, and then Oregon and Washington will be maybe some of the last ones. Man, I don't know why it's getting so weird. Alright, so we actually have to go southeast now? This way. There's a story. On the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland.
You hear the whippoorwill first, shrill and close. Then you see him, high up above the black streaks of wires. A lineman, fraying belt holding him to the pole. A damned bird has come to perch on a power line, stare hungrily at the man's soul.
Uh-oh. Hey, let's watch him.
He's unsteady. His hands are shaky, and his body sways in the wind. You spot his tool bag next to the pole, worn and frayed, much like the man. A half-gone bottle of cheap rye pokes out of it.
Take the bottle.
What's he gonna do? Come down from the pole? You snatch it from his bag in one quick motion and walk away. Hey! He starts, but whatever he's about to say slips into a slurred whine as his belt snaps.
Uh-oh. Now, I thought we would take the rye and drink it because we knew what was going to happen next, so whatever. Look at him.
His body plummets, and his limbs go slack with the understanding of what is happening to him. He tumbles into the tall, dry grass by the side of the road with a muffled noise. All you hear is the call of the whippoorwill. Eager, loud, thankful.
Drunkard lineman. I've done that, I guess. Alright, so here's Washington. It's hard to look at these shining buildings in the direct sunlight. You feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you find a city that's a little more human. Explore.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs, well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me.
Mhm.
He holds out a brown envelope. The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street.
Keep looking.
Over here.
A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall.
I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
Alrighty.
As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket.
Let's knock on Gibson's door, I suppose.
The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter.
I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me?
You tear the letter open. It isn't good news.
Man, let's lie. He's old. He can't read.
You read the letter, omitting a few key details, but his face still falls.
I don't think he's coming home,
He says.
it's been so long. I don't think he's ever coming back.
He takes the letter.
Thank you for bringing word, at least.
Okay. Some money. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Look for work. It starts to rain in the kind of torrential, tree-stripping way that only happens once or twice a year. Everyone scrambles for cover, but one guy stands out in the street. A fellow with a bale of bent and lopsided umbrellas. 10 cents each, he hollers. What an opportunist. The rain has soaked him through, but he's doing a roaring trade. Hey, he tells you, go run around on the main shopping streets and pick up all the umbrellas you see, okay? People sometimes drop them when they blow inside out. I'll pay. I'm in. He's right. There are umbrellas scattered all up and down the street like fallen birds. You gather up an armful and the umbrella seller buys them all off you for a couple coins. The next morning, though, your throat is hoarse and your nose is running like a faucet. Damn it. I took some damage. Let's get some clam chowder. Smells a little funny, but damn, it fills you up. Okay. So, good. I spent some of my money and healed up. Alright. See, there's some stuff over here in Philadelphia. And 2 camps. What is up with it? Like, I'm getting over 100 FPS. Why is it doing this? Don't understand. So weird. And a whole bunch of stories over here.
By nightfall, the hospitality of this sleepy
Headless
hamlet,
horseman.
combined with their superstitious tales, has both overstuffed your stomach and filled you with a hollow dread. Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, witches, and worse. You curse yourself for getting on the road so late.
Keep on, keeping on.
In the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred of the abyss itself. Fireside tales seem less fanciful, and every cackling crow and moaning whippoorwill seems like a demon perched on the shivering, spindly trees.
Ooh, let's have a listen.
But something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, it's as though he had just appeared out of the mist.
Look at him.
He's astride a gigantic black courser, and though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great shining buttons. From his saddle hangs an antiquated flintlock and a cavalry saber. In the darkness, you can hardly see above his towering shoulders.
Let's greet him.
His voice is a rumbling croak, deep, but as though his throat is filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language. German is. His hand, so pale it's almost blue in the moonlight, grips the reins in a fist.
Run the hell away, or sorry I haven't. Run the hell away.
Suddenly, you remember a story you heard, and you dash into the underbrush where the horse cannot follow, hearing a croaking sound that could be laughter. Over your shoulder, just for a moment, you see the headless rider hurrying on towards some forgotten battlefield.
Ew.
A few wanderers like you are looking for a place to camp.
We heard there's a Leatherman cave nearby.
They tell you. They describe a locally famous vagrant who hiked this area for almost 30 years.
He's dead now, but his caves are the best place to camp at any town.
You and the other wanderers find the cave easily, because someone's lit a fire there. As you approach, you see a silhouette bend over the flames with an odd creaking sound, like a door swinging in the wind.
Who's there?
His coat is crudely stitched from leather plates that squeak against each other.
The Leatherman.
One of the others whispers.
A ghost.
The Leatherman must have heard, but he just stares. His face is corpse still.
I think we need this type of story. Oh shit!
Are you a ghost?
Shouts one of the others.
Huh? Leatherman?
The Leatherman's face reddens, and he stands suddenly, his stinking leather jacket screeching like a rusted gate as he unfolds himself to his full, towering height.
Run!
You're 10 yards away before you glance back and see the Leatherman standing outside his cave, hurling insults in French.
Wait,
You shout. Maybe he's not a ghost.
he's a French ghost!
The others scream. The Leatherman, wheezing, flings a rock. You book it.
Nice. After gossiping for a while about the weather and the crops and the state of the world, all bad and getting worse, he takes a different tack. You look like someone who likes a good story, he wheezes. Try this one on for size. After loudly and repeatedly clearing his throat, he tells you the story of a boy whose shiftless father left him alone in the woods. Sounds a lot like the story of the boy who ran away with his father, but with some parts changed and other parts added. Listen. When he grins up at you at the conclusion of the tale, you give him the effusive praise he's apparently expecting. You'll have to remember that version even if it's not quite what happened. It's a good story. Notice a black crow sitting on a fence post, watching you with unsettling intensity. Hey! It blits out. Hey, Fred! Hey! You hear about trains? He gives a throaty cackle. Locomotion. That's the life. I got some good travel tips here. Alright, let's ask. Why not? You ever ride a train? It asks. With your budget, you'll need to hop on at a train yard, though. Fast and convenient, but the railroad bulls really don't like it when you ride in the empty boxcars. If you get caught, you'll get beaten. It hops and pecks at something on the ground. On the positive side, Maybe you'll meet someone to trade stories with, but if you don't like the sound of that, you could hitchhike, find a friendly car. I feel sorry for you landlubbers. No wings, no motors, you don't even cross rivers when you want to, only at safe crossings. Got a point there. I always do. You notice that its beak doesn't move as it speaks, but before you can tell anything about it, off it flies.
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue, unusual in this region where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement.
Eep.
You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
Approach the goat.
Over the hill, a scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth.
Draw it closer.
The goat opens its mouth and wails, a protracted, shrill sound, indistinguishable from the cry of a human infant. It only begins to stop when you take several steps back. The winged goat doesn't follow. Instead, it lies down inside the burnt house, surrounded by portraits of a large family, glass frames stained brown from smoke.
Winged goat. Ah, creepy. Alright, heading back into Pennsylvania. Gonna head to this campfire, then head to the other campfire, then continue on our way. Quinn, Chapter 2. Hey, Quinn.
Stranger, it's good to see you again. You know, I'm gonna see this whole world one day, but for now, I just got my sights set on seeing all 48 of the great U.S. I already seen 10 whole states. That's better than my folks ever done, that's for sure.
Damn straight, kid.
Plenty of townies and even some tramps treat me like I'm kid simple, but I ain't helpless, and I only act it when I ain't got no better choice, like if I get pinched. I do right fine on my own. Don't need nobody but Cass and Flip. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Alright, kid. Let's see what we got. Thrilling, huh? Massive thunderstorm. Yeah, that's kind of thrilling.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. In this country, I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what I done been told in school, but the words don't fit the picture. What with tramping across the whole thing, figure I'll find out for myself soon enough. You got any happy stories?
Yeah, we got a few of those, I think. Maybe. Happy story. Guess kind of not, right? Socialist, I guess, is kind of happy. I don't like that you have a dagger there, buddy.
Sometimes I need a tale like that just to remind me it's not all depressed out there. Freedom? Well, that's what them trains have come to mean to me. Crossing a country wider than imagination. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
Oh, we just got one of those, buddy. Winged goat. That one's pretty scary. Actually, the Headless Horseman is way more scarier. Where you at? Headless Horseman. Headless Horseman. Queen of Cups. Oh, did I already use that category or something? I must have. Alright, the Silent Twins will be good. That's really scary.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. Being trapped, caged. You think beggardom is a prison? Nah, stranger. Beggardom is freedom. Responsibility is the real trap, wound tight like an old spring. Pride and pretending'll bleed folk dry, and then when there ain't nothing left to be proud of, when they can't pretend no more, they'll unwind. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Another exciting story? Buddy, come on. Dude. Ghost, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Kinda exciting. We ran away.
That was a chuckle to be sure, but do you know anything more lively? Travel. Yeah, I want to see it all, the whole world. My brother used to read me stories of Jules Verne, of rich folks traveling around the world, and all for a lousy bet. It didn't sit right with me that folk with all the coin in their purse should also keep the world in their back pocket. I aim to grab a little piece for myself. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Ghosts or murders or something, huh? Try the winged goat. Scary stuff.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit.
Damn, didn't fill it up.
Sadness. Ain't seen no sight sadder than in the city. In the city, they want you to feel like a giant among giants, like you can do anything. But I seen them shanty camps full up with folks who got nothing to eat or do. Cities serve to make the small feel smaller. Well, sun's coming up, so I've got to get ready to go. Thanks for the tales, friend. Where you heading next? Decided yet? Maybe our paths will cross. I'm going up the road this way myself.
Alright,
Hope
Quinn.
I'll see something fun. I generally do, you know. There's interesting things to see everywhere if you keep your eyes open.
Great. Go to this camp, see what's going on here. Jason, Chapter 1, Pay for Your Life.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
Okay. Lighthouse dudes.
I liked that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. The past doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like it's happening in every moment, in every slumber. When your memories come back to you, do they clutch at you? At your heart? Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Got some PTSD, buddy. Jokes. No. I don't know, is this one a joke maybe? We'll try.
That can't be true. That sounds like a Navy tale. Home. Well, my sister, Jessie, won't forgive me for what happened to Paul, so she won't let me back home. I made my own way for a while after that, till no one could afford gardeners. Who could stand to care for the land nowadays? So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Hey, I didn't have any last time. I don't know, seagulls? Not really, I don't have any funny ones. We need that one, and the wheel. We need a bunch. This was kind of funny, not really. I don't know, seagulls, why not? We'll give that a try.
You know, the government told us to keep our chins up too, but I didn't believe them either. The future's the issue, ain't it? The Great War leaves us nothing to go back to, plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. So anyway, tell me a funny
What the
story.
hell? Dude,
You seem like you know a few good ones.
I definitely don't have a funny story.
Oh, come on. That doesn't sound real. Authority? The law? Well, I had a thought once, in the trenches. You and I, all of us, have the right to the pursuit of happiness. Can't say I've held the Declaration myself, but does it say anything about having a right to achieve happiness?
But I don't know. I guess I'm doing good on this dude.
For a moment there, just a moment.
Hey, that worked. Whew.
I felt better about it all too. Freedom is getting paid what you deserve, and getting enough to get by. Freedom is the ability to be free of pain. Here's the sun.
Damn,
I've
son.
gotta go. I'm headed up the road this way.
Went all the way back to New
Will our
York.
paths cross?
Yipes.
The days come and go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at 'em. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Yeah. That wolf guy has this under his thumb. Can I walk this way? I can. I'm swimming, guys. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride tucked in my soul.
You saying I can't get across this way? Okay, gotta. Can't walk across the bridge apparently. We have to go on the boat. Okay. Across the Ohio River.
Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty,
Okay. Who's this? Somebody, I don't think I've talked to this guy before? Maybe this is the first guy I talked to. Richmond, Virginia.
The edge of summer has turned the ocean choppy and misanthropic, and the skies miserably gray. The boardwalk prophetess lured you into her tent with a promise to read a fortune for free. Seems like business has slowed to a crawl already.
Alright, we'll sit at her table.
Before you lie the instruments of her profession. There's tarot cards, Rider-Waite, but also Marseille for traditionalists. rosary beads and costume jewelry, and of course, the centerpiece, a great glass globe.
Listen to her fortune.
With practiced theatricality, she goes directly for the crystal ball, letting her eyes unfocus as though she can see a great distance into it. She brings up names, places, asks if you've known someone called John, if you have a relative in Newark.
Be a dick. Be a good sport. We need one for the wheel anyways.
You'll latch on to what she says, and together you dance towards some insights about your romantic prospects. It's relieving to meet an honest charlatan instead of the ghouls and ghasts of the road. You might even say you're having fun, until she abruptly stops talking.
What's wrong?
Your eyes, she says, her voice suddenly drained of the bassy drama that was her stock in trade. You've met him. You've seen him, too. You carry him with you.
The wolf. Yes, did you miss me?
The words that come out of your mouth are not your own. They seem unwilling or unable to form properly out of a human throat. They're more like snarls, warning noises of a vicious animal.
Try to move.
The glass globe shatters. Your vision is hazy, and your body is not your own. You came far to get away from me, the voice lodged inside you says. But this one has a way of wandering. The fortune teller has collapsed, cowering. Consider your debt to me repaid.
Blackout.
When you come to your senses, you're lying face down on the rough wood of the boardwalk, sore and weak. An empty patch of wood, cleaner than the surrounding planks, is all that remains of the fortune teller's tent.
Ooh.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours.
Whoops.
You got a light, friend?
Sure do, pal. Sure do. Here you go.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip.
So where you going, pal?
Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going either.
Why's that?
They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. A damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
He's a ghost. Oh, God. A long black car growls up in front of this hotel. Out steps a woman in an extravagant hat and coat, followed by a whole crowd of hangers-on. Is she a singer? An actress? You don't recognize her face, but to your surprise, you recognize the story she's telling. In a sharp transatlantic accent, she's telling everyone in her party a story about the 4 identical men born to two different mothers who confused themselves amongst each other. It's clearly the story of the 2 men who mistook the other for his missing brother, but changed in a few entertaining ways. Isn't that something? She asks. Her various followers agree. She pays the driver of the limousine and sweeps into the hotel like a thunderstorm of red velvet. Someone should do a picture about it, you hear her exclaim. Story grew with the telling. Little Ben, Chapter 1, Cumberland Blues.
Sorry, friend, but I gotta ask you not to get no closer unless I can see your hands at all times.
Okay.
Look too clean to be one of us. You don't look like the company sent you neither. All right, come and share my fire spell. But don't linger. These hills is full of ears. Don't think just 'cause you can't see no one that you're safe.
Okay.
I'll give you cornbread.
Weirdo.
Don't be so sure of me neither.
Ah, thanks. I'll take your cornbread. Appreciate it, pal.
See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Hey, Powell, how you doing, buddy? Alright, so we need an exciting story. What would be exciting? This one. Story of the Fortune Teller and the Curse. That was exciting. I think. Thunderstorm. Also exciting. We know that one is exciting already. Try the Fortune Teller and the Curse.
That's supposed to be scary?
What?
Well, huh. All right.
Oh, you said exciting. What the hell, guy?
Fortune? That's what they promise. They tell these men, get on the train. There's work for you on the other end. They say, pack up. Bring your families. Come on, earn your keep in the land of the free. So they pack up. These men quite a ways from their home already, and if they make it to the mine town alive, the company tells them, gotta use our tools. Take it out your first month's pay. Train ticket here too. Nothing you get doesn't come from us. First day you go down to work, you might even be in debt already. What can they do but go down all in a line, like beasts into the dark? See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Alright, fine, buddy. I'll tell you of the thunderstorm.
Brings me back. There was a time when me and Big Ben could just enjoy exciting stories like this one. Innocent. Home? I always wanted a little place where I could watch the sky change color, watch the cook fire smoke dance up among the pines. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
No, I don't. Not really. 4 identical men born to 2 different mothers who confuse themselves. That's the best one I got.
You are a pretty funny one, you know that?
Perfect.
The past. I remember looking between my mama's ankles down the road every evening. She'd be whispering. Still don't know if she was counting the workers or praying about them. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Another exciting story. Sure, the shootout.
You'd be popular at mealtime where I'm from. You'd keep a whole crew glued, I bet. Authority? Bosses? You ain't worth nothing to them. You're like a pickaxe or a coal cutter. Damn shovel. You break, you get replaced. It's almost like they're proud of that. Got any funny stories? Must have a couple.
Hey, dude. What's with the funny stories? I don't. You don't tell me funny stories. I legit don't have a funny story. Oop. I don't know. Seagulls? Why not? That's not a funny story. I know it's not a funny story.
Come on. Don't try to cheer me up with that lying nonsense. Dreaming about the future made me a wanted man. For now, I'll be glad just to get over the county line at dawn. Morning. I gotta get going. Headed up that way. Won't be specific for my safety and yours. If you want to find me, then do it. Talk again about these things.
Alright, Pally.
Cole ain't got no country. No worker neither. Worker ain't Virginian, ain't Christian, white, colored, Irish, Polish, nothing. A worker is a worker. And we all gotta work.
Amen, brother.
If you're one of them, if you think I sound red, you best come out and say so. Get it over with.
Fine guy. Okay. Keep on keeping on. What we got here? Oh, black car. Story about the trickster with magic stones. Huh. Story in the telling, the trickster who lures humans with magic stones. Ooh, I see a story out there. Alright, what do we got? Another story?
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by. At his back is a bag full of bird seed. He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
I thought they were extinct.
They look extinct to you?
You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of passenger pigeons, though you can't help thinking they stare at you a little too intently.
Say, you like birds?
Sure, why not?
They're lovely creatures. Guileless, really. Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you?
He strokes one of his birds under the chin. You think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head.
What? Excuse me.
You sense it's about time you start moving on.
You be kind to the little birds now, you hear?
You hurry along the road, though the flapping of ungainly wings seems to follow you for hours.
Okay. That was weird. Right, we are gonna head down south through North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. All the way down to Florida. Come back up. Let's see. This way. Walking across fields. Oh, we entered a new subsection of America, I think. But the music changed. Because we're in the south now, as opposed to the north.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman comes
A family of 9 invites you into their home for a meal. Hogs roam free in the yard. They wallow in shady patches of cool mud, not paying any mind as you pass.
Eat with the family.
During supper, the hard wind puts an awful burden on the walls. The glass dishes rumble on the table, but the mother seems calm.
Can't butcher a hog in these parts without me, Ma, hollering for pig's feet.
Could we share?
The mother's heavy sigh gives you the impression her children ask this often.
Me, Ma, wants more pig's feet. Heaven can provide.
Okay.
when my trains run
Family of pig
out
farmers.
track, won't
Sure.
be no
You know the story, way out here.
else to dig my hole.
Vast empty swath of farmland. Yep, that's North Carolina for you.
Well, I got no companion except the way.
We need a 6th.
She told you, beckoning from the steps of a great dark mansion. And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress.
Join hands, everyone.
Alright, I guess so.
Your
Get dragged into
host
these
keeps
things.
her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead. But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table. The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the staid candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls. And then, a viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice.
Keep holding.
The damned candles are dancing in midair around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose.
Oh boy. Keep holding.
When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury, and no sign of his spirit.
Okay, let us be on our way. A preacher watches you with an odd look. Suspicion? Pity? He beckons you into the church and starts counting cash out of his donations box. Hush, he says, trying to silence your thinks. He applies the coins into your hand. You look like you need it more than I do. Oh, thank you, buddy. I am a drifter, after all. I see more stories over there. Go, let's go, let's go.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store. She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
Her accent is very thick.
Okay, we'll take a closer look, I guess.
You are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. And the address under the monogram on the letterhead. 12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
We'll make something up. We need something in that category.
You send her around a nearby corner at random.
Merci.
She exclaims, clasping the letter to her bosom, stars in her eyes.
Enfin, mon héritage attend.
She hurries down the street, gone before you can change your mind.
Oh, I feel like a dick.
The soldier sits in the dirt with his legs splayed out, like a child would sit. Beneath the tattered fabric of his antique uniform, several open wounds fester in the hot sun.
Lend a hand, traveler?
Yeah, she'll help you out.
You kneel in front of the soldier. His body is marked with bullet holes, along with deeper wounds that could be from knives or bayonets. Maggots squirm inside the raw, red flesh. About time I earned an amputation. You seen any bluebellies around?
Bluebellies?
The soldier leans in, uncomfortably close to inspect your features. Were his pupils solid white before now? He tilts his head, narrows his eyes, sniffs you. What are you, stranger?
Back the fuck away.
Where you going, Yankee? A bowie knife flies past your head, so close the wind tickles your ear. It sticks in a tree with a solid thump that clears the squirrels and birds out of the branches. When you look back, the wounded soldier's nowhere to be found.
Beep. Had it backed up, I guess.
He's small for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive, an enormous yellow-brown mutt. He's called Rover, the boy explains.
Paul says he can't come with us.
Where?
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit.
Paul says it has to be better.
Why can't Rover grow?
With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Paul says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't tell where the blonde of the dog's coat ends and the omnipresent dust begins. Same goes for the boy's hair.
Will you take him?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
Oh, see ya, Rover.
I won't leave much to find that can be found.
Listen to this, blurts a boy loitering outside this grocery store. He works his way through a long and strange story about the woman communing with wood spirits. There, he finishes. What do you think? Wait a minute. Holy shit, you know this story. It's the story of the woman praying in the woods, but wildly altered. For a couple of moments, you're too surprised to respond. Seriously, the boy insists. What do you think about this one? It's a great story. He smiles sheepishly. Thanks, he says. I heard it from my brother.
'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole.
A horse auction, a well-dressed man waves you over. Making some big deals today, he brags, fingering a bill where you can see. Get me when number 60 goes up, okay? You stand in the crowd and wait, then run back to fetch him. He pays you absurdly well for doing almost nothing at all.
Set the way
Man, where are we going?
and the sea.
You should go along 17, down south.
Cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me. But I'm gonna scroll my name on the bare bones of the
Hitchhike.
earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. I'm gonna cast my stone and
Hey.
the waters of this land. By and by, I'll see them far
Oh, I think the music's a little messed up. Hey.
down for to take me hand in hand. This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Nope, guess it wasn't messed up.
Yeah, this will be my day. I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my way back. I'm gonna keep lacerates tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track,
Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Hey! Let me out! Oh. Let me out! Taking me too far.
well, I got no companion.
Man, he's taking me a long way.
And the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
Okay, I guess we're going all the way down to Florida.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long.
Yeesh.
When
The long hitchhike.
night
God.
come down for to take me hand in
Oh.
hand, this will be my
Guess we gotta head to Miami now.
vagrant song. Yeah, this will be my tale. My vagrant song.
Miami. Seagulls scream overhead as you mosey down the beach. Out at sea, ships crawl along the horizon toward the harbor. The sun's a little intense, so you search for a scrap of shade. Explore.
You enjoyed a break on the beach, staring off the edge of the world. But the sun is starting to go down, and the breeze is getting stronger. As you're about to stand, a man plonks down near you. He sits a polite distance off, but looks at you expectantly.
Freedom.
He smiles weakly. I just got fired. First Spanish-American radio host in the state, and they fired me. They needed to make cuts, I get that, but I'm twice the... He trails off. I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife.
Be sympathetic.
I could try the docks, but there's already more men than jobs, and I could barely support the family on what they pay. He hangs his head. And my boy, I can't bring myself to tell them. I don't know what to do.
I'll sit with him.
He calms as the sun drops below the horizon. An expanse of darkness is ahead of you. Turning back to the lights of the city reminds you that the world hasn't gone away. After a long silence, he speaks. It's never going to get better, is it?
Give him hope.
It takes you a moment to notice his sobbing over the noise of the waves. I've got to tell them, haven't I? I'll go to the port in the morning and see if they'll take me. You can no longer make him out in the dark, but his hand touches your shoulder as he leaves.
Alright, let's earn some money. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Let's panhandle this time. It starts to rain after only a few hours. You shuffle your setup backward into the shelter of a store awning, but the shop owner keeps threatening to call the cops, and nobody's out here paying beggars in the rain anyway. God damn it. Alright, let's look for shelter. Pick your stuff up and start looking for a new doorway, but everywhere you go, everyone threatens to call the cops. What is it with the city and cops? When the rain finally stops, you open up your knapsack and discover you've been carrying around a gallon of rainwater.
Electric lamps stipple the cotton field before you with an orange light, moving like a group of lethargic fireflies. From the field, the voices of the workers reach you in a soulful, united song. You're gently lulled to sleep as the song floats over you. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale of cotton. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale a day. You're pulled out of your slumber by a woman's pained scream and a collection of shouts rising from the field.
Focus on the noise.
The woman's screams taper off, soon replaced by the raw cries of an infant. Applause briefly fills the night, eventually fading back into song. Oh, Lordy, you wake up to the gentle crescendo of the worker's song, unsure if it ever ceased at all. A sign in town says a farmer is hiring for the sugarcane harvest. A bag-eyed man drives you and 10 hungry strangers out into the cane, where he leaves you. Everyone gets a hatchet, but no instruction. The foreman is missing for some reason. Nobody is sure what to do.
Oh, great.
A young man in a red jacket stuffs all the hatchets in his pack. This is stupid, he says. I'm leaving. You can get $5 for a nice axe like this. He marches off into the cane and others follow. Don't! A young woman shouts after them. It's not right.
He's right.
The thief left some hatchets behind, so you and the 3 chumps left start chopping cane. It's brutal work. None of you know what you're doing. Keep going, the girl calls. Her hands are bleeding, and her face is bright with sweat. Soon, her cane is piled high. Sometime after noon, the truck rolls up with a boozy foreman riding shotgun. Good work, he croaks. The girl wipes her blood-pinked hands on her apron to take her pay, but doesn't notice the crumpled body in the back of the truck, or the hatchets heaped beside it.
Oh, that guy got messed up. Nice. Hey, it's a boy. Again. 2 lighthouse keepers. Great story. Yeah. 2 lighthouse keepers. Oh, he grew. Blessed Lighthouse Sanctuary now. Alright, let's go to this camp. Says Dupree. Chapter 1, Queen of Diamonds.
You look good, honey. You got a life? You like a good story?
Well, the answer to those are yes and yes.
I like to hear about people and make bets with them. I like to hear about the weird, handsome people. Get convinced by the rich jackasses who'll play blackjack and lose into the night. Dames who are lit cigarettes burning to the end. I want to be around furious people who use me and I use them. Are you one, stranger?
I mean...
Come close to me. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Sure. Bootleggers, of course. That's a prime candidate.
Well, well, they should let you make the movies, honey.
You don't say.
The law? I can get by with the law. The law thinks I'm a victim, a sad girl of the streets, a damaged girl, a girl who ain't got no fate and whose daddy didn't love her. My daddy's dead, and all cops are in my pocket, stranger. I will tell you that if I tell you anything. The law is bad for us Roman kids. It does not serve us. But you learn to get that sad, pale girl on. They love that. Sometimes you gotta promise them something more and... Well, I don't say it's pleasant, but you born in a body. Sometimes people treat you like you need the power taken from it. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
Yeah, I do. Or the silent twins. That's ghosts.
Just what I asked for. That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do.
Double entendre right there.
I spent a night in jail once, and it were nicer than a prospect of going back to where I was born, you know, just to become what my mama always wanted me to be. When I was 12, she caught me kissing a girl once, and I felt like I would never get out of all the strands of her red-as-hell fury. I said to her, "But you said I ain't to kiss no boys, and I ain't." But she and I both knew that ain't what she meant. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Let's see, do we have another exciting one? Like the movies. Storm again. We keep going back to the same ones.
Honey, thrills is the stuff I live on. That one will keep me going. A long time ago, I left that little hole I grew up in and started to make my home wherever I was. I don't regret it. I took a pack of cards and hopped on a cargo train, and when it stopped by someone interesting, I'd let 'em take me to where the law can't see. And you know what's home in this here country? People. No one loves harder and tries harder than these countrymen. And at night when the grasshopper's squeaking, I think they singing something patriotic about trying luck and failing and trying again. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Another exciting one? Good God, lady. The fortune teller and the curse. Kind of exciting. Also kind of scary.
I won big back in Reno and I got obsessed with luck. I was drinking absinthe at the time and smoking only darn European cigarettes that made me cough like a mule, and boy, after that win, I drank the green fairy good and smoked like a redwood bonfire. And you know what I learned? I learned to pick my tables and expect music on the jaw. Shit. Hey, got any exciting?
More exciting? Ah, damn. Not really. Yeah, not really. Bridge builders, I guess. Or the Headless Horseman, let's try that one.
"16 days ago, I come across a girl by the side of the road. She had her smoke all bent out of shape in her mouth, and she had a bundle like I used to by her little brown boots. She caught my eye just for a little second. And though I ain't got no feeling from her, I smiled to myself because you bet a lot on leaving the protection of the known, especially when your body our shape. But choosing your challenges, that's freedom. And she knew it, I think. Next time, let's up the stakes, shall we?
Oh, really?
Why don't we spend some time with bourbon and 5-card stud? You bring the bourbon, of course. And when the moon's fuller, I might let you in on some secrets on life. Have you any?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a quick lunch break. I will be back in 30 to 40 minutes, and we will continue this game, I think. It's been a lot of fun for me. I'll see you then.